Hey guys, what's up? It's Sean, Autotopia LA. My buddy Danny here works next door at my neighbor Dennis McCarthy's, where they do all the Fast and Furious vehicles, as well as they just build. These guys build nonstop. This is Danny's creation called Big Booty Judy.
I see you looking at Trudy Judy's booty.
It's always fun for me with guys like you that when you take the time to build your own thing, it's usually something really completely and totally off the wall.
I actually finished this the week before I started doing all the special effects vehicles.
Oh, really?
So this was kind of my resume.
Number one, what year and what the hell is it?
So this is a 1948 International KB5. It was a dump truck on an avocado farm. Look at the roof, half of it's green, the other half of it is rusty because it had the big dump bed that hung over the top and it protected it from the sun. I traded it actually just the truck alone, which actually came with a C4 Corvette chassis with a 350, which is the motor that's in it now, and a 350 trans. I traded it for an old police bike, a KZ1000.
The cop bike we were talking about earlier.
I just started going to town. I didn't really have a plan.
So kind of walk me through from front to back. I mean, I'm assuming that nothing on this is stock, original, anything.
You're wrong.
Really?
So that's the stock front bumper. The axle is the stock front axle from it as well. I actually cut it in half. I did a little Z cut in it and I extended it 9 inches because I wouldn't get the turning radius. The further out your wheels are, the more room you have for the wheels to come in.
Right, because with these big massive wheels, otherwise you'd be whacking the vehicle,
exactly.
Right? Yeah.
I've been told a lot that you shouldn't screw with the front axle, but with it being in the center like that, there's not a whole lot of load. All the load is where the springs, or my airbags in this case, hold the car up from the bottom of the axle and then the outer part of the axle. And I don't have a real like panhard bar. It's more like a triangulation to the 2-link front end, which are these links right here. So I got a link here and a link there, and if it's tracking too far one way or the other, I could actually adjust it. And there's a lot of flex in it, but you know, it's not a road race car.
Right. Yeah, sure.
I'm going down the street at 35, 45 miles an hour.
Sure.
Out.
I mean, I gotta imagine this is a lot of unsprung weight out here. Mm-hmm. And obviously even worse because you double it up out back.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Are these lights original to the truck?
No, those are actually, so the lights that were original to the truck were actually molded into the fenders. So in 48, they actually had fenders that came across, the wheels actually stood right about here. So I pushed this forward a good 14, 18 inches. I don't know exactly. These lights are actually Dodge Brother lights. It was all gutted on the inside, so I redid all the wiring in it and everything and took them all apart.
These are fully rebuilt.
Fully rebuilt.
They look ratty.
Yeah, they got all new electrical sockets in them and everything.
Of course.
So I have bags in the front. These are cantilevers. The rear also has cantilevers, but they're under spring under the axle, so it actually pulls down because, you know, a cantilever is like a teeter-totter. When you push down on one side, it pushes up on the other. So that's what it's kind of doing. As you can see, I got some hardware store fittings on there. Some galvanized pipe fittings for that. This was totally 100% a backyard build.
No, I get it. You know, dude, what prompts me, I mean, obviously we shoot oftentimes really big dollar, crazy, multi-year builds.
Yeah.
But sometimes something like this captures my attention because it's just so out of the box. It's so creative.
This took me a year and 11 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Can we pop the hood and see the 350 you put in it?
Yeah. I'm not gonna clean it up because it's a rat rod, I don't care.
Totally.
So this is a C4 Corvette engine, 350, roller rockers. It leaks oil, as you can see, so I don't ever need to do an oil change. This radiator actually came from one of my buddies. He was building he's still building, the Ford F-250 from, I think, the 60s, late 60s or in the 70s. Mm-hmm. Basically everything on here is all either used, trash, something that I got out of the dumpster from work. Like,
yeah. I mean, the headers, again, it looks like straight out of Mad Max.
So I didn't have room to stick it underneath the car, and I figured it'd also make the floorboards a lot hotter. And there was a perfect little tunnel underneath right there. And so I actually have some hollowed out glass packs in there to kind of deaden the noise just a little bit.
So it actually does come
It comes all the way down,
bottom of the cab.
Through. My plan is to actually go up and over right there, stick some mufflers in it, because it's really fucking loud in there.
Is it?
Yeah. So these were actually hooker headers, and I chopped them up and I put some roll cage tubing in there.
You got to talk wheel and tire size because what the hell?
Okay, so these are 315/80/22/5s. These are semi-truck size rim tires, but these came off of a trash truck. I was actually going to the junkyard one day, just kind of like dump some of my junk off and get some money for it, maybe go buy a Slurpee. They started bringing in trash trucks from Waste Management, and they were scrapping the whole thing. They were aluminum rims, the tires were all good. There was probably 6 or 10 stacks of these tires with the rims. And I said, hey, how much do you guys sell those tires for? And he goes, oh, we're not selling them. We just wanted to keep the rims because they're aluminum, they're the Alcoas. And so I'm like, okay, how about my buddy and I come by next week? We dismount 6 of them so you guys don't have to have your workers take them off, and I'll take the tires. And he goes, okay, well, how much do you charge? I'm like, don't worry about it. I'll just take the tires off your hands. You could have the rims. And my buddy and I went over there with 2 tire irons by hand and fucking got all of them.
Kidding me, dude.
Not even kidding, dude. So I got all these tires for free. And he said, anytime you want to come back and take some more, you're more than welcome. So I have free tires for life.
So what size is the rim then? How
so
tall is that?
these are 22.5s. This is what you would find on your standard semi truck. They're called East Coast rims because where you take them apart, there's these bolts on the outer edge.
Yeah.
And all the spokes come out in one piece. So the rim is actually just a single hollow piece that goes on.
Got it.
All the spokes is part of the hub assembly.
Where did your brakes come from that are on here?
So they came off of a 1996 Ford F-250 pickup. The reason why I did that, I have a 1996 Ford F-250 pickup at home.
Yeah.
I could just rob them off of one car or the other and make the other car work. And I'm also familiar with them because I do the brakes on my own vehicle.
Of course.
And
yeah, of course.
I think these are way big enough to support the rotational mass
weight of that.
This individual tire.
Back here, these are the exact same size?
These are all the same size. So these tires, they all came off of the Waste Management trucks. If you look at all the treads are the same.
Yep.
But if you look at the brands, there's a Bridgestone, there's a Firestone. This one, let's see, that's another Firestone. Up front's another Goodyear. Like, they're all mixed matched, but they're all certified recaps, so they're all the same tread. They don't have to buy a brand new tire. What they do is they cut the tread off of it and they vulcanize the rubber and throw it back on there, and you got a brand new tire.
Yeah.
This vehicle, I weighed it and I actually got it under 5,000 pounds. So I don't have to worry about the structural integrity of the tire necessarily because these tires are meant for God knows how many pounds those trucks are.
But this thing weighs
under 5,000. It's like 4,700 and some change.
It's a heavy dog, man.
No, it's not. It's under 5,000 pounds.
You're so funny, man. I like, to me, it sounds heavy, obviously. Is this still all stock framework that's under it?
So this whole entire frame all the way to the front is completely original. Well, I wouldn't say completely original. I modified it. But
yeah,
the frame used to come out to here. I bobbed it off of probably 18 to 20 inches. But this back bumper piece that we have here was actually a frame reinforcement for the dump truck. So those actually went over the top of the frame on both sides. It's from the truck, and I didn't have to go to the scrapyard or the metal store and grab some metal for it or anything.
Yeah. Explain your rear suspension here. Like, is this all hand fabbed stuff?
This is all hand fabricated stuff. I did make another rat rod before this, and there was a lot of trial and error on that one. Obviously the bags are bought.
Yeah.
But I made these cantilevers. I believe it's like a 30-70 split. So every 1 inch this travels, that travels more than an inch. So you get more travel out of the cantilever. And since there's nearly no weight back here, it made sense to me to do that. Up front, they're 50-50s because you got the engine up there, and it's just more leverage.
I like your trick. Like, that took some time to create the license plate frame and holder.
I have tie wire, right? It's great. So I have a great big backyard with a bunch of dirt, and when it rains, it creates like holes and puddles and stuff like that. So I used my flat blade bumper here to push the dirt around, and I left the license plate on it. So this is like half go out and cruise it, low and slow, half back to its original farm equipment.
Putting it to work.
And so it's just this big blade. It's like, 3 feet long? It's perfect.
Yeah. So I gotta imagine, not the original fuel tank?
That is, in fact, a 16.5 gallon Anheuser-Busch beer keg. I baffled it. I put up these flat plates in there to keep the fuel from sloshing around. If you don't have a gas tank and you think you can envision that being your tank, you make it what you need it to be. So that's what I did. And I put the fuel neck up high like that just for effect. I didn't need to be that high, but
No, but I dig it because I can picture pulling it up at a pump with this, and it's just a super slap it in there. And
Oh, yeah.
Another one, hand fabbed, or did you grab this from something?
original.
That's original to the truck,
Original to
really?
the truck because it was a dump truck. And let's say they have a bunch of rocks and stuff in it,
Protect the window.
protect the window from it getting busted out.
I mean, that's so perfectly ugly bitchin'.
It's awesome. It matches
Right?
the truck. It's green and rusty, just like the truck.
Is this green the original color the
This
truck was?
is the original color,
From,
1948.
you gotta be kidding.
So
Wow.
we made dye from lead poisoning.
Oh, I see what it is. Sorry, it took me a second to catch on to it, how
Oh, yeah.
your framework here
That's
to
my-
hold the fuel cell.
That's my Golden Gate Bridge fuel cradle.
Dude, that's really bitchin'
So
though.
that's
And then
actually
you kind
structural.
of warded it like you did
Yeah.
the headers up here.
Yeah, I did 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch box tubing, made the cradle for it, and then I wove in a bunch of pencil rod spider webs, but triangulated, so that way it would hold the weight of the tank when it's full.
Bitchin'.
Yeah.
It looks really cool,
Yeah.
dude. All right, I got to see in here. Oh my God, I'm so scared to sit in this thing, Danny. There's no bugs that are gonna bite me, are there?
Next question.
Is that? Oh, I dig the disco lighting in here. This is cool. And then, by the way, you put a really nice set of gauges in here, dude.
The only thing that was expensive was this one. That's the Speedo, and it actually tells you your mileage and how far you've driven and stuff like that. And it's a GPS speedometer. So I actually have the antenna for this. It runs through here, up the pillar. I put the receiving end of the antenna, I hid it underneath the center cab light, so you can't see it. So there's an antenna up in there that you don't know about.
What's this all from? This is all just full-on creation, yeah?
So it looks like it's just GAC. That gauge right there is actually the gauge for my air tank for the airbags. I put this in here just in case I need to like run my air tools or something like that.
You gotta be kidding me.
But this right here, this, I turn that on, so this is engaged.
Holy cow. Holy shit, dude. That's a no bullshit horn.
Grab onto it. It's ergonomically comfortable. Now,
Right.
Put your finger in the pistol grip. Put your thumb on it. There you
Oh,
go.
you gotta be kidding me. Do you see this shit here, right, dude? God, that's brutal. I'm hungover today, you guys, and that's a serious headache right there. Holy shit.
And then I got the disengage just in case I accidentally hit it.
See, this is the stuff I love about guys like you, bro, that you build whatever there is to be built and you figure it out, especially with the picture car stuff. You guys have no idea what these guys do. They'll turn out more cars in 1 year than any custom car build shop will do in their entire career. Easily. But you guys are constantly in the setting where you have to be creative. You have to figure it out because you can't tell Dennis or anybody else that, oh yeah, we're not gonna be able to get that done in time.
There's a lot of times where we can't say that. Either we're putting things together in a hurry to go put a car on a plane to ship it out of the United States, and we
And
have
it
a
has
deadline.
to be on
And
set.
it has to be not only just on set, but if you miss your schedule on the plane, it does not make it to
Yeah,
set.
dude, I get it. This
all
is
it
just
is.
flexing for you because you get to go pure
is fun.
creative on
Yeah,
this.
there's
Yeah,
no deadline
bro,
on this thing.
seriously. What are all your switches do? You got a bunch of shit going on
Your
here.
2 twin switches right there. That's
Yep.
front and back bags. You hit
Okay.
those, it'll go up. That one to the right toggles left and right. Those are actually my blinkers. It's a momentary, so you could hold it, and when you let go of it, it goes back to center. So when I'm sitting there at a street light, I just have to hold it.
Right, but if you're making a lane change, you can hold, let go,
Yep.
and you're, that's bitching.
But also when you're in this vehicle, everyone's already looking at you.
Of course.
So the whole car is a blinker.
Yeah, yeah, right.
So that's my radio. But I wanted something round because everything on the dash is round, and I think it would look funky.
Is that from a boat?
That is a boat head unit.
Yep.
So it's waterproof. As you can see, my windshield probably isn't the most waterproof thing. And so I
Nor
could wash-
is your gorgeous floor here, buddy.
Yeah, that too. Hey, but you know what? With all that engine heat coming in, if I go through a puddle, it's already evaporated by the time it gets in.
Right, it doesn't even make it. Yeah. So let's talk about the floor because obviously I know it's something that when we show B-roll of it, inevitably somebody in the comments are going to go, "That's not safe," and that.
They're right.
Right? It's not.
They're absolutely right.
So what's up
So-
here? Are you replacing the whole floor in the
So
truck?
I actually started replacing this whole centerpiece, the transmission tunnel.
Yep.
It's all fabricated in my backyard. I bead rolled it and everything. It's
Yep.
a work in progress, but it's also been a work in progress since I finished it. So
Yeah. You guys work a lot of hours over there, so
Yeah.
I understand it's not like you get a ton of time to jump in on this guy.
I mean, I only have time here because of the strikes. You know?
Yeah, right. This looks like it's definitely an original piece here.
Original steering wheel, original shaft, original steering box. I wanted to keep the steering box because it was a low ratio, because you got a lot of turns for.
Got it.
It was high torque steering box. So it's funny because people always ask me, does this thing have power steering? How do you steer that thing with those ginormous wheels?
Right.
I have probably half the PSI that those tires actually normally take, because I don't want them to blow off. Normal PSI in those tires, 110, 120 PSI. So I have about 80 pounds in it, so it's still a lot. So it's easier to steer with this high torque box.
Is this crank? Is this for the windshield?
That's the AC, yes.
The AC, right?
It's actually cooler.
The quality of your glass too here.
I put that in brand new.
Really?
Since the window has such a, over the ages, it has such a bow in the frame. When I tightened it up, it cracked it in the two corners in the middle first. And then that one over there, you could actually fold that seat forward. I wasn't paying attention one day. I had the window closed and I folded the seat forward and the headrest hit it.
Oh.
And it went, but it's DOT laminated, so it's not going to.
You're not worried about it shredding apart on you?
No.
These seats aren't original to this. These look familiar to me for some odd reason.
You probably saw them on the side of the road on San Fernando.
Maybe that's what it is.
I'm dead fucking serious. They were connected together with a bracket. They were sitting in a bush. I kid you not. My buddy Christian and I, working on one of our buddies' buggies, I was like, dude, there's a set of seats. I could totally put those in my rat truck. And he's like, oh, okay, all right. I'm like, okay, well, when we're done here, we'll go back, we'll look for them. If they're there, they were meant to be. And so he's had this big off-road truck with all these spotlights on it and everything.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like 10 o'clock at night. We just finished here. So we went down San Fernando, and I shit you not, those seats were still sitting in the bushes. He pulled over, I hopped out, threw him in the bed of his truck, and we took off. I believe they're like some sort of transit city bus seats.
I can see that. The other thing that's really standing out to me here, you put a lot of time into this accelerator pedal.
About 10 minutes work.
That's got to be a trip to drive. Well, I guess it's
No,
just
it's
right
comfy.
there, isn't it?
I just put
Yeah.
that same exact pedal in that.
You ain't driving this thing barefooted.
Well, I do in my flip flops. I have driven it barefooted before. If you look at the brake pedal, see how it's an automatic brake pedal, how wide it is?
Yeah.
This truck used to be a manual truck. I had the clutch pedal and the brake pedal, and they were two small pedals, so I cut them both in half, or took the edges off of them and I welded them together. So that's two pedals right there for my brake pedal.
That's so funny. You know, we never talked about what the transmission was.
It's a turbo 350, just standard, nothing special.
Is this a functional anything?
If you push the button in the middle, the door comes open.
You got to be kidding me.
So that piston is actually the same piston that I have on the hood up there. It's out of a York 210 AC compressor from air conditioning unit on a car, which is actually the same compressor that I'm running for my airbags.
So fun. I'll tell you what, man. Let's have the guys put cameras in, which isn't going to be easy because you don't have a lot of room to work with in here. But we'll camera it up and we'll go drive around.
Yeah, whatever you guys want to. If you guys need to put a self tapper on the roof for whatever reason, inside, I don't care.
Finally riding in Big Booty Judy. Wow, what a kooky view from here, man.
So one of the first things that I bought on this thing was the pig. So I was going up north. We do this yearly family fishing trip. It was actually a bottle opener. It was mounted to a piece of metal that had the bottle opener on it and everything.
Yeah.
And I told my girlfriend, I'm like, we're gonna put this on my next rat rod. And so we bought it.
So you got that before you were building this?
Yeah. Got a torch, got all the paint off of it so it rusts. So this is my vent.
Oh my God. Now when you scrape, is the lowest thing that lays is frame on it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Frame and front bumper.
So you could never technically hurt any mechanicals on it.
No. I could be doing 35 and lay it down, all it would be the frame.
Oh my God, it's so rowdy loud, like
Oh,
all the
no.
rattles and stuff.
I'll stick it in first gear and let it, I'll rev it up. You'll hear it and it sounds like drums when I let off. a different build, and I know there's going to be people out there that are going to be bagging on it.
Of course.
But you know what? I don't care. I'm having fun in it. It's safe enough to drive on the road. That's not going to put anybody's life at risk.
Right. It's not like you're going freeway speeds and stuff.
Well, I do.
Do you really?
I'll take this thing fucking 80 miles an hour.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy cow, I can't even.
See what I mean?
I cannot even imagine, dude, up at 80 miles an hour.
So on the 210, it's a lot better because I know where all the potholes are and everything up there.
Yeah.
So I'll stay in the far left as long as I can. But it's funny, dude. I'll be passing everybody, and they'll try to keep up with me. They'll get in front of me so they can get pictures and everything, or they'll pull me over just to take pictures.
No, I believe it. It's so completely cartoonish, you know, like over the top in every way possible. I mean, the friggin' wheel and tire combination is bad enough, but then you do a dually out back.
I know. I wanted to make a rat rod, and I wanted to make it a dually. Those were my two parameters.
Right. By the way, on the dually rear, did you put two wheels together, or was it already dually wheels?
So this truck was already a dually.
It was.
And so with the demountable rim, I had to get a 22.5 demountable rim that would fit this. I got rid of the split rims, which were dangerous. So these are actually solid rims.
So it's like having two wheels as far as where your mounts are at, but it's actually one wheel.
No, it's two wheels.
It is
Two wheels pancaked together. They're bolted together.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to be clear.
That's how all dualies are.
Got it. Okay.
And you can actually put one of those wheels on the front. You gotta flip them around and do some shit.
But you just gotta bolt them, and now they'll fit up front.
They're all the same.
Wild.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a big rat rod guy at all, and I say that, and I have total appreciation because I just love how far out of the box. There's no rule book. It's you throw everything out and do what, and we're gonna go right here.
Okay.
You do whatever the hell you want.
The only rule that's important is that it's safe.
Yeah, well that I get, and you're a mechanic, dude. I expect it to be mechanically sound, as whacked out as it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to drive yourself and your girlfriend and your dog down the road in something that's going to fall apart and be dangerous, you know? I know you're not. Oh my God, I can't believe it does that. It sounds so wrong. It sounds like you're destroying the thing. Oh my God. It's so different than what I'm used to, bro. Oh my God. Dude, it sounds so wrong. I feel like we're about to destroy this thing.
As you can see, I'm not really muscling the steering wheel. It's just, and I got the Ackerman so it'll return on its own.
Wow. That's nasty. What's the reason again why we roll up the windows on a hot day to somehow make it cooler?
Yeah, so when we have the windows down, all the heat from the engine comes in from down there and goes out the window, so it circulates in here. Now when you have the windows up, it pressurizes it, and the cool air comes in from the window here and pushes all that hot air out the bottom.
Ah, I get it. Okay, I
Yeah.
get it.
I think I'm getting vapor locked because it's so hot.
Oh.
Yep, I'm heating up. The brakes are good though.
I hadn't made mention yet of how glorious your safety restraint system is in here.
It's Bluetooth.
It's a Bluetooth safety restraint system. I like it. Dude, thanks for taking the time on a Saturday to do this with us.
Yeah, it's been a long
fun,
time
unique-
coming.
It has. I mean, it's like a good couple of years we've been talking about this.
Oh yeah. See how it's cooler now?
It is, you're right. It actually works. And you're never going to go through the hassle of putting AC in here, right?
No.
Yeah.
This is the AC.
I love the look on your face, dude. Uh-oh, we're pushing it. We're pushing it. This thing's so friggin' whacked out, bro.
People stop like that just to see me go by.
I mean, dude, it's a friggin' cartoon rolling down the road. Like,
Yeah.
right?
I get a lot of kids that like it. They'll hang out the window and they'll like give me a peace sign or wave at me.
Totally, dude.
And then I'll scare the shit out of them with this.
Oh, yeah.
I've had one person not like it. I was going through an intersection and this old granny, she waves her handkerchief out the window and like fake coughs. And so I stuck the thing in neutral. And I did that. She didn't like it too well.
I'd imagine, yeah.
But other than that one person, every single person that I interact with loves it.
How can't you smile at this and enjoy the insanity of it? You know, I love it personally.
It's a ton of fun. It really is.
Yeah. That was super cool to finally bring this one together. I've known Danny for a few years now, him working for my neighbor Dennis, seen Big Booty Judy a couple different times and thought, man, sooner or later we got to shoot that thing. So here we are, we finally got to do it. And look, like you guys, a lot of us prefer the more refined, more beautiful, you get the point. And yet, I can't help but marvel at the creativity that goes into rat rods because there just is no rule book. It's do anything you want other than, like Danny said, just make it safe to drive down the road. And hard to believe it is, but it actually is. That thing works, and that was just fun. I truly hope you guys enjoyed this one and just had fun for something unique and different and interesting. As always, I will see you in the next one. All right, man, later.